Imagine a world where borders dissolve, economies unite, and alliances redefine the future. Now consider this. What if Canada became the 51st state of the United States? It's a provocative thought, one that challenges history and sparks debate, but let's explore what such a shift could mean for both nations. The United States, as we know, invests hundreds of billions of dollars annually in protecting and supporting Canada. Military resources, financial aid, and trade partnerships tie the two countries closely together. But are these arrangements truly beneficial for both sides? The U.S. carries a trade deficit with Canada, losing significant amounts yearly while importing products, like cars, lumber, and dairy, that it arguably doesn't need. America has its own vast resources, from expansive forests to thriving industries, capable of fulfilling its own demands. During conversations with Canada's leadership, it became clear that these long-standing agreements are often upheld out of habit, not necessity. When asked what would happen if U.S. support were reduced, Canada's leaders admitted that their country might struggle to function without American backing. Consider this. The U.S. is subsidizing a neighboring country while simultaneously grappling with its own financial challenges, including a $36 trillion national debt. Is it fair for the U.S. to continue shouldering this burden without reassessing the relationship? What if Canada were to become a state, sharing in responsibilities and benefits as part of a unified nation? This isn't just about economics, it's about security, stability, and rethinking old alliances. The two nations already share deep cultural and economic ties, but by eliminating the artificial border, they could form an even stronger, mutually beneficial union. Some might argue that the U.S. doesn't need what Canada offers, and in many ways that's true. America's industries could thrive independently, especially with strategic shifts in trade policies. But it's also about ensuring fairness. Why should the U.S. continue to face trade deficits, losing billions to protect a neighbor while getting little in return? This vision isn't without controversy. Critics say such a move would undermine Canada's sovereignty, and it's true that leadership in Canada firmly opposes the idea. But history has shown that bold, transformative decisions often come with resistance. The question isn't just whether it's feasible, but whether it's time to rethink what's best for both nations. The debate isn't merely about economics or military strength, it's about vision. Could a unified North America pave the way for a stronger, more secure future? It's a question worth considering, not just for leaders, but for the people whose lives these decisions ultimately affect. This discussion opens the door to deeper questions. What truly defines a nation's independence? Is it the ability to stand alone without external support, or is it the willingness to adapt for the greater good of its people? Canada and the United States share more than just a border. They share history, values, and a mutual reliance that has shaped both nations. But at what point does that reliance become a liability instead of an asset? Imagine a scenario where Canada doesn't just rely on American support, but actively contributes as an integral part of a united system. No more trade deficits, no more military imbalances, just shared goals, shared resources, and shared success. The potential benefits for both countries are monumental. A combined economy that could dominate global markets, unparalleled security across the continent, and a cultural merger that could set a new standard for international cooperation. These results mark the end of a remarkable journey and the beginning of a new chapter for our nation. With the votes tallied, the country now knows who will lead us into the future. As the joint session concludes, the electoral votes have been certified and the results are officially recorded. Thank you to all who participated in this historic process. The American people have spoken, and the course is set for the new leaders to take their positions in office on January 20th, 2025. As we continue this historic moment, the electoral process unfolds with clarity, ensuring every vote is counted and recognized for its significance. In a time when the nation's future is shaped by the choices made in these ballots, we move forward with hope and anticipation. Madam President, the certificate of the electoral vote from the great state of Kansas has been reviewed and is found to be regular in form and authentic. The result indicates that Donald J. Trump from the state of Florida has earned 6 votes for president, while J.D. Vance from Ohio has garnered 6 votes for vice president. This vote reflects the voice of the people and their continued support for their chosen leaders. Following that, the electoral vote certificate from the Commonwealth of Kentucky has also been verified, presenting the same level of regularity and authenticity. From this state, Donald J. Trump of Florida has received 8 votes for president, and J.D. Vance from Ohio has also received 8 votes for vice president. As the votes continue to be announced, we see the ongoing commitment of citizens across the nation participating in this important democratic process. Whether from Louisiana, Maine, or Montana, each state's contribution is key in determining the course of leadership in our country. The importance of this process cannot be understated, as it is through these votes that we will see the direction of our country in the coming years. From Texas, where Donald J. Trump of Florida secured 40 votes for president, to the state of Washington, where Kamala D. Harris from California received 12 votes for president, these moments are part of a bigger picture, a moment in history that will shape the political landscape for generations to come. As these votes are tallied, it becomes clear that the nation has made its choice. With a final count of 312 votes for Donald J. Trump for president and 312 votes for J.D. Vance as vice president, the result is now sealed. On the other side, Kamala D. Harris has earned 226 votes for president, and Tim Walz has secured 226 votes for vice president. This official count concludes with the recognition of the people's will, with Donald J. Trump and J.D. Vance set to assume the highest offices in the land. A new chapter in the nation's history is now upon us, one where the voices of millions are heard through the votes that shape our future. As the joint session of Congress concludes and the formal process is wrapped up, we can take a moment to reflect on the significance of this day. It's a day where democracy has prevailed, where the will of the people has been acknowledged, and where the future is decided by the very citizens who entrusted these leaders with their votes. If you found this breakdown valuable, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell on my YouTube channel, Brave Voice, for more in-depth analysis, updates, and breaking news as it happens. Stay informed, stay engaged, and keep fighting for the future you believe in. Thank you for being a part of this incredible journey.